The umpire had to stop and ask for quiet. Not once. Over and over again. Wednesday night. Sobeys Stadium, Toronto. A second-round match. Not a final. Not a semi-final. Round 2 of a WTA 1000 event most casual fans couldn't even name. And the noise would not stop. 10,000 seats. A wall of Philippine flags moving in the stands like water. And a chair umpire, someone who has officiated matches at every level of this sport, Grand Slam finals included, standing there, waiting, because a crowd would not let him restart play. Here is the part that should stop you cold. Tickets to that match were gone in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. From the second the schedule was posted. Not for a final. Not for a top 5 seed. For a round 2 match, against a player ranked 71st in the world. So before we go any further, sit with the question underneath all of this. How does a country with 0 WTA champions in its entire history, a country of over 100 million people that had never once produced a tour-level tit list, sell out a stadium in a different country, on another continent, in the time it takes to order dinner? That's what we're actually looking at today. Not a match, a phenomenon. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what that noise in Toronto was really about, because it is not what the highlight clips are showing you. Start with a number most tennis coverage never mentions. Toronto is home to roughly 280,000 Filipinos, one of the largest Filipino populations of any city outside the Philippines itself. Mississauga, Scarborough, the Greater Toronto Area, entire neighborhoods built by families who left home decades ago to work, to study, to build something for the people they left behind. That number matters more than any ranking, any seed, any stat line on a broadcast graphic, because it means Eala did not walk into Sobeys Stadium as an away player in a foreign country. She walked in as the home crowd. The tournament may have been Canadian. The stadium was Filipino, and she arrived there running on almost no rest at all. 2 days earlier, she was in Washington, D.C., lifting her first ever WTA Tour title, the first singles title by a Filipino player, man or woman, in the entire history of the tour. To get there, she'd gone through an Olympic gold medalist, the defending champion, a former top 3 player, a 4-time Grand Slam winner, and finally the world number 3, in a final that got rained out mid-match and had to finish the next day. She landed in Toronto less than 48 hours after that trophy left her hands. Straight off a rain-delayed final, straight into another stadium, another country, another wall of noise already waiting for her before she'd even unpacked. She said it herself, stepping off the plane. So many emotions, so many things to process, and now she had to reset and do it all over again. Most athletes get a week to come down from a title like that. She got a flight. Her opponent in round 2, Alycia Parks, not a random draw, the same player who had beaten her at the Australian Open back in January, the match where Eala won the first set 6-love and somehow still lost the next 2. That loss had followed her all year. It was the first data point in a pattern people kept bringing up. Brilliant for a set, then gone. So when the draw paired her with Parks again, in Toronto of all places, it wasn't just a second-round match. It was unfinished business, playing out in front of the loudest crowd of her career. Center court was rocking before the first ball was even struck. Eala came out and took the first set 6-1. Parks fought back and leveled it, 6-4. Third set, decider. The moment where, for 3 years, matches like this had a habit of slipping away from her. She broke to open the set. Parks broke straight back to get level again. And then, Eala simply took over. 4 straight games. Match over. Final score, 6-1, 4-6, 6-2. 6 wins in a row now, across 2 countries, in 8 days. And the moment it ended, she didn't sprint to her box the way most players do. She turned to the stands. She asked the crowd, in Tagalog, to wave their flags so she could actually see them. She told them how many Filipinos she could count out there that night, how many flags. She said that every single week, every tournament, she feels how much Filipinos support their own, and that it makes her incredibly proud to be Filipino. Then she thanked them, in her own language, for something no scoreboard could ever measure. That's not a soundbite for a highlight reel. That's the entire story of this year, compressed into one sentence. Here's what almost nobody covering this is saying out loud, and it's the whole reason this video exists. That crowd is not a side effect of her winning. It is part of why she's winning. Think about what a sellout crowd actually does to a tournament's internal machinery. It forces schedulers to put her on center court, in the night session, in the prime television window, every single time she plays. That's not a courtesy extended to a rising star. That's business. A tournament chases whatever fills seats and sells broadcast slots, and right now, that's her. Which means a 21-year-old with exactly one career title to her name is now playing almost every match under conditions that normally take players 5, 6, 7 years to grow into gradually. Full stadium, cameras on her from the walkout, nowhere on the court to hide from the noise. Most players get eased into that kind of pressure one tournament at a time. She's being dropped straight into it, week after week, at maximum volume. And remember what her one real weakness was for 3 years running. Not talent, nobody ever questioned the talent. It was closing, getting the lead, and then watching it slip while the finish line came into view. Melbourne in January is the textbook example. Up a set 6-love, and still found a way to lose. Now look at what's happening to that weakness in real time. Every match, in front of tens of thousands of her own fans screaming her name the second she gets ahead, she is being forced to hold a lead under the loudest possible pressure. And she is doing it. Toronto against Parks is the same story as Washington against Pegula the week before. A wobble in the middle, and then 4 straight games to close it out, instead of 4 straight games to lose it. The crowd isn't just cheering, the crowd is training her. Every sellout is a pressure test she didn't ask for and can't opt out of, and every time she survives one, the next one gets a little easier. Here's the bigger picture, and it's bigger than tennis. There are roughly 10 million Filipinos living outside the Philippines right now. Nurses in Chicago, engineers in Dubai, seafarers on ships in every ocean on Earth, caregivers in Toronto, families who packed one suitcase at 19, or 22, or 25, and got on a plane to a country where nobody knew their name, so someone back home could have a better year. When a community like that watches a 21-year-old from Quezon City walk into a Canadian stadium and take it over, they are not just watching a tennis match. They are watching a version of their own story, with a racket in it. The distance is the same. The homesickness is the same. The pride of carrying a family's expectations across an ocean, that's the same too. Toronto just proved something no marketing department could have planned. Every city with a large enough Filipino community is a stadium waiting to be activated. Nobody had switched it on before. She didn't build that audience from nothing. She unlocked one that was already there, fully formed, just waiting for a reason to show up. She's already through to the 3rd round in Toronto, facing Katie McNally next, the American who tore up the tournament's most anticipated storyline by knocking out defending Wimbledon champion Linda Noskova before Eala ever got the chance to. Beyond McNally, the projected path stiffens fast. Taylor Townsend, then potentially Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, or Arina Sabalenka. And after Toronto, the tour moves to Cincinnati. And after Cincinnati comes the one that changes everything. New York, the US Open, played in a city that's home to one of the largest Filipino communities anywhere in North America. If a second-round match on a Wednesday night in Toronto sold out in 30 minutes, on 48 hours rest, against a player ranked outside the top 70, what exactly happens when she walks out at Arthur Ashe? I don't know the answer. Nobody does yet. But we're going to find out inside of a month. We're covering every match, every crowd, every scoreline the rest of the way through New York. If you want to be there the moment it happens, instead of hearing about it 3 days late, subscribe now so it lands in front of you first. And one more thing, because I'm genuinely curious how far this actually reaches. Drop your city in the comments, not just your country, your city. Toronto, Dubai, Jersey City, Daly City, Manila, wherever you're watching this from. Let's see how big this thing really is.